Friends, good evening. Happy Navratri. It's a great day for India Navratri is festival for everybody. It's a festival of Shakti. The energy comes from goddess. And I played this video for the first time in Ray Talks deliberately. I'm missing physical meetings. I'm missing conferences. Hence, let's all pray together that this next 9 days, let Goddess help us to overcome all the calamities and start meeting again. So, Vinodji, welcome on this auspicious day on Ray Talks. Honor to have you as a Ray speaker.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, friends, young leader, energetic, vision, of course, ambitious, and that's what defines Vinod Lahoti ji. Today, we have Vinod Lahoti speaking on how agri-entrepreneurs can take to road to fast-paced journey. That doesn't mean that you need to have shortcuts. You need to have things in place. Today's young food and agricultural entrepreneurs have to develop innovative ways to revolutionize the entire food chain. They need to be at the forefront to increase crop yields, improve market access, develop novel technologies, and increase sustainable farming practices across the globe. Mr. Vinod Lahoti, Chairman and Managing Director of GeoLife, one of the youngest in the country in agri-space, is one such fast-paced young agri-entrepreneur who will be sharing his journey with me today. Let's listen to him sharing his unique insights, perspectives, and approaches to a sustainable farming and building a strong agribusiness. Let me take you through. Let me take you through the brief about Mr. Vinod Lahoti. Mr. Vinod Lahoti ventured into the business while completing his MBA. He made a way for residue-free farming and promoting organic food technology. His multitasking ability to prioritize and quick decisions-making skills has metamorphosed his company GeoLife into one of the fastest growing agro and nanotechnology company with presence in almost entire India and international presence. Lahoti strives to bring up eco-friendly range of products and thus contribute towards greener tomorrow. His punchline is always think organic, grow organic, and eat organic. I'm not too sure about the third one. Hopefully we'll soon reach there. He started GeoLife Foundation to give back to the society and is an inspiration for all the budding business entrepreneurs. So, Vinodji, I welcome you to this Ray Talks, and I'm looking forward to have an exciting chat with you so that you share your ideas with young entrepreneurs in India and abroad.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, having spoken about Vinodji, let me speak about Ray Consulting. I founded, that is Raj, Ray Consulting after 25 years stint in agri-industry, having worked with stalwarts companies like Rallis, Cheminova, now FMC, PI Industries, and my last assignment with Nagarjuna Fertilizers. I felt there was a need, there is a space for agri-consulting in India, and you would do with an integrated platform in the agri domain. We understand the unique dynamics and economics of agricultural value chain, the critical issue and challenges seeking to grow and elevate performance. We work with all segments of agri value chain. Ray Talks is the only dedicated talk show in the world which has regularity and brings operational knowledge and solutions to their audience. The series, as you see, invites leaders from across the section of agriculture to share their experience and guide us. We have audience from over 30 countries registering to this unique Ray Talks. Our deep agribusiness sector expertise and growth strategy development capabilities enable us to deliver uniquely rich insights that lead to meaningful impact to our clients on growth strategy, M&A, go-to-market commercial strategy for the business performance improvement. So that's what Ray Consulting does. Friends, I'm sure each one of us need a guide, and Ray Consulting could be one of those for you to increase your business, to feel like getting your business transformed, have a mission, have a vision, create an outstanding strategy, foolproof strategy. Please get in touch with Ray Consulting. So with this introduction of both of us, now I'll straight move to Vinodji to talk about his journey. I know Vinodji just about, I think, about 5 years now, but we have been neighbors just about 15 kilometers away each other for whole of our lives. I was amazed, I was astonished when I first met him, and he said that he used to cycle to my town to do his graduation. That's amazing. Imagine. And that's a hard work. That is the tenacity and the commitment of that has brought Vinod what he is today. And I'm sure he'll grow much, much further from here. Vinodji, let me start with the questions. You have been in this industry and you have created a mark for yourself in such a short time. What attracted you to choose agriculture but not something else? Guys of your age who especially are not from technology background, who are not engineers. Today, engineers are in agri field because of technology. They are offering extremely good support. But you are not from technology background. You are from a business background. So what attracted you to this agriculture field?
I can say I remember a statement made by my dad. He told, as long as humans live on earth, agriculture industry can never go into recession. So this statement remained as a seed of budding idea in my mind. My mind was made up to be in agriculture business, promote residue-free food or nutritious-based food. So in childhood only, I decided that I should continue into agriculture business.
Okay, from the beginning, you've been thinking of this.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now, okay. So childhood onwards, you decided to be an agriculture business. But what's your experience in the agri industry so far? Especially you moved from a small town to a cosmopolitan Bombay. I heard that it's not easy to survive in Bombay. So how did you manage that? How did you do that transformation?
Yeah, actually, my dad started agribusiness in way back 1973 in a small town, Kodangal, which is a neighbor to your own town. So major area of that, they grow red gram and other pulses in that area. So we have a store which is known for providing quality products and right guidance to farmers. And farmers from around 60 kilometers visit our store for their needs. So I used to assist my dad in business during my free time and holidays. Okay. And since I was 10 years, I can say 10 years old, and I worked that contribution or that time spent in business worked as injecting business into my mind and into my blood. So I worked very hard to develop my family business once I joined full time after my post graduation, and then we used to develop our retail and wholesale business in surrounding areas. Every day I used to visit farmers and fields along with different companies. We were distributors for many companies like Pioneer, Dhanuka, Dow, Garda, and SAN. So for product promotion and farmer training programs, I used to visit along with them to the field. And actual situation in farming, I learned from that phase. After a few years, I realized that to grow big, I have to move to a place with more opportunities and which I can fulfill my dream of doing business in pan-India and globally. At that time, I did not know what product or what business is going to take me pan-India or globally. But as I had a desire, I had a vision to go global. So I started with a distribution of micronutrient business. Sorry. So I took distribution of a company from Andhra Pradesh for entire Karnataka. So we used to promote micronutrient, and our brand was Urja. There is some resound. Is it only for me or everyone?
No, it's fine. We can hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay. So brand was Urja. It was a really nice story and start of my journey. In 18 months, I traveled more than 1 lakh kilometer in entire Karnataka, covering all major areas of Karnataka, reaching all small towns and villages. We made our product a very big brand, and very soon, everyone in agri industry knew our brand Urja.
I think there is some resound, Vinodji, there's some resound happening.
Yeah, I'm also feeling that, but not from my end, I think.
Okay, now can you speak? Let me check.
Yeah. So as I told, we very short period we established our brand in entire Karnataka. To interact with local farmers, I learned Kannada language in less than 4 months. And I used to do ad in newspaper with my mobile number for queries on farmers. So this was a very good experience and start of my journey. Then came time of thinking to go pan India. In 2008, I shifted Mumbai to start Geolife. Within 3 years of starting a company, I established offices in 19 states, first with 16 states, and in 4 years, we started in 19 states, established offices, business, team. I personally traveled in all these 16 states and make a very unique team, which I wanted to develop with my own choice, and then officers and systems. In 4th year, I realized, okay, this is now the start is done. You're on mute, Raji.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in 4th year, I hired a business head from the industry with the experience of working with multinationals and major Indian companies for 30 years plus. So now we are operating in 22 states, exporting to 30 plus countries, and with a team of 300 plus.
Wow.
So great experience of establishing a team with good culture and core values. That was my major role, to identify good people and train them. Actually, many people come with different baggages, culture of other companies. So it takes time to unwind and train them about our values. And so I gave a lot of time in that, and then trained them to promote bioag products, which is not easy as compared to pesticides and all. But I'm happy to share that most of the team members who joined me at the start are still with me as a family member. So that is a uniqueness about Geolife and Geolife family. So I believe,
sorry, go ahead.
So I believe that main reason for my success is our vision and core values. From day one, my vision was never in numbers, but to establish a value-based organization where lifetime relations are created. This is the vision. It was never in numbers. I personally train and guide my team members regularly on core values like positivity, good karma, prosperity, developing inner power, love, ethics and purity, happy and healthy life. So I have properly defined all these core values, and happy to say that most of my team members follow them. And they always share that their family life is better, getting better every year because of these values, implementing also company and also in their personal life. So the basic mantra that all Geolife members follow is, we don't want to earn money by doing any wrong deed or any unethical means. We are more concerned about our personal and company's karma account rather than bank account. So this is the uniqueness what we have. And we believe if a karma account is positive, we don't need to worry about a bank account.
Okay. Now, see, when you speak about, you mentioned about the personal qualities. One, having personal qualities is easy. When I say easy means you can practice on your own. But how do you ensure that, your team follows this?
Yeah, so I regularly take sessions for them, and they feel, I never say that you just change your mindset or change your lifestyle. I request them to follow this just for 3 months. Anything which I say, and whatever I share, I never share which I didn't experience. Whatever I experience, I share, and I ask them to just try for 3 months. If you feel better, then follow it. And then everybody tries, and they are following.
Good. So, see, now I would like to put it like this. How has your leadership style helped you to grow in your business? See, values are one, giving quality product is another. But there is unique leadership everybody has. This is besides value and the quality. So what is the kind of leadership you follow that your people on your channel or like you do business with so many countries and so many states, so B2B, B2C. So what is that they see in you, or what is that you practice with them that you get business?
See, I believe in delegation. I never execute anything myself from day one. So I know how to choose right person for right job. Then I personally give time. Once selected, I groom them and make them ready for the job. First point. And in organization, we have more than 300 people, and I am directly connected and accessible to all 300 people. Okay, they can contact me anytime for their personal needs or any guidance they need, but they cannot discuss with me about business. I don't allow that. They have to come through proper hierarchy. So everybody is very close. They are connected. They call me. Even like there are incidents that junior staff, they just text me, sir, I want to speak to you and share my personal family problem and need your guidance and all. They feel free to contact me. And they are not feeling free to discuss with their boss, but they are ready to discuss with me and take my guidance. So that kind of culture we developed in GeoLife.
How did you transit from a small town life to a Bombay life?
Actually, it was not easy because after my education, I did PG and then I joined my family business. You can think like for 5, 6 years, I did not get chance even to speak any other language than Telugu, local language, right? So yeah. No communication outside and entirely connected with farmers and all. So I wanted to develop myself because I was from a small town, but my vision was big. So to go pan India and globally. So I was ready to learn, imbibe qualities required for the same. So when I shifted Mumbai, first thing I did was I joined executive MBA, 18 months course. So every Saturday, 1 to 9, I used to travel across India, but Friday night or Saturday morning, I used to fly back to Mumbai to attend the classes. And I had learned a lot from MBA. And then I had full support from my wife and my kids. They used to manage everything, home, studies themselves very effectively. And I had a chance to travel and focus more on business.
See, now doing business, especially in agriculture, they say is not easy because you have monsoons, you have the market linkages, the prices, the produce prices. ये सारे चीजें keep telling, coming up to, especially to an agri input companies, whether we sell seed, fertilizers, or pesticides, we always see may not be a direct risk, but there's always an uncertainty coming in. Yeah. So, how do you foresee the risks and solve them?
Actually, personally speaking, I am a man of risk taking. I take risk every time. Like every stage of my life, I took risk and took a big jump. So from what I learned is once only experience teaches us how to face and handle them. You cannot have a clear definition of every risk in advance, but experience teaches us.
Now, see, we have seen transformation in agriculture, especially last 10-15 years in India, with the digitization, access, now with the finance access to the farmers, small and marginal farmers, technology, when I say digitization, technology playing a critical role. Of course, now with the latest farm reforms coming in, we are in a stage. Some call we are in an exciting stage. Some call we don't know, and some call say कि नहीं पहले ठीक था, पहले ठीक था. So in your view, I mean, the next 5 or better 10 years, if I call this 20s as a golden decade for agriculture, so what do you feel that where the agriculture would be next 10 years, Indian agriculture? What are those mega trends which might define the future of agriculture and food?
Yeah, I think if you talk about main 2 changes which are going to happen are like globally people are looking for safe and nutritious food. So demand for bio-ag inputs will increase in faster pace. We can see all big companies starting their division or purchasing companies into bio-ag. Awareness also is growing for bio-ag and safe food, organic and residue-free food. So this trend is going to be very fast. Second is need for precision farming will increase. Okay, small farmers may not be able to use technology in their farms, and agriculture may not be profitable for farmers who still go with traditional farming. So slowly agriculture will move towards CPs. I mean, corporate farming, contract farming, or cooperative farming kind of thing. In India, government also is promoting this in the form of FPOs. So this cooperative farming and collective farming is going to be future for sure. You can see Egypt, majority of the Egypt now 30% farming has gone into these big business houses or cooperative farming. Same thing will happen everywhere. Even it's happening in China, in Brazil, and US. So this trend is going to come in India also. So big players will come, technology will be used, and definitely agriculture will be in a better phase, I think.
Okay. See, now you export to many countries you mentioned. So will the exports grow from India further? Agri inputs exports to various other countries?
Sure. It's growing, and demand for Indian agriculture products are more growing. I am observing since last 6 years. So demand from India is more, acceptance is more as compared to other countries. So export from India will definitely grow.
I have two questions related to this. One is, which are the countries you feel will be proactively accepting Indian product? I mean, Indian agri inputs, especially bio-agri inputs.
We can say Europe and Latin America are in the first phase. Latin American countries, they accept very well Indian products, and in Geolife also almost all countries in Latin America, we have our distributors and our products are moving very fast. Europe is looking for residue-free food. Bio-ag products will be faster in Europe. Africa still more on pesticides. For pesticides, Africa is good market, but Latin America can be first. Even Australia and Korea, they accept Indian products very well. Yeah.
Now, see, when we are exporting these countries, now there is always an issue. When I say use the word issue, not issue per se. Like pesticides have got a defined registration formalities across the globe, including India. India is in fact stringent. Yeah. Now, when it comes to bio-agri inputs, we hear there is no, proper way where the bio-agri inputs can be registered or regulatory norms are in place. Now, you know that on 28th of October, this month, you are also part of the discussion. Along with Asian PGPR, I'm hosting brainstorming discussion on these points. So how are these countries, how do you manage this country? When I say manage, what are the formalities they require to get the product from India?
As of now, as there is no proper regulation in most of the countries, so everybody is in dilemma, okay, new regulation will come. But now, still, people are accepting products and registrations are happening. But there will be changes globally very soon, and proper defined structure will come for these bio-ag products. Live microbes still is little difficult as compared to other extracts and other products. But we expect that very soon in 1 or 2 countries, there will be proper guidelines in most of the countries.
Okay. Now, moving back to your kind of business style, not just you, but Geolife business style, moving from a town to Bombay, now Bombay to multinational. So what's your experience and how do you do business with these unique personalities across the globe? You have different people, different cultures, different requirements. You're speaking right from Africa to Europe to Southeast Asia.
Yeah. See, if products are good and if they perform in the field, then other things can be easily managed. Everybody is into farming business, and most of the countries like culture and for farming requirement is almost same. So if your products are good and if they perform in the country and if you have documentations required for registration, then it's easy.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Now, see, when we speak about registration, products are good, they perform and they do. Do you for India per se, and specifically since you are there, if India has to look for bioagri inputs exports, which is a better way? Is it B2B or B2C? Is Geolife exporting as B2B or B2C?
We are doing B2B. We identify good companies who have a very good distribution network in their country so that access is easy to the market.
Yes.
But in Brazil and China, we have already started our own subsidiary companies, Geolife Brazil and Geolife China. There we are appointing our own team, and then very soon we will be having B2C in those countries. Few more countries are in pipeline, but to start with, B2B is the ideal way to establish a product.
Okay. Now, see, so I think Santosh has put a question: what is B2B and B2C? Mr. Santosh, B2B is business to business. That is bulk. You can say whole. You are selling to another country as a single bulk thing or within the country. And B2C is you are selling to the consumer directly. So that's what the thing is. Now, having done that, I'll come to last two quick questions to you. Before I come to a summing up question, and then a few minutes later, audience will take questions from you. Please stay tuned on. You can talk to Vinodji directly. You are also into philanthropic work. Geolife. What do you do in philanthropy?
So,
why?
Yeah, with the intention of giving back, I started Geolife Foundation, a trust where we do many social activities. So whatever activities we do in our trust, we do along with our partners, our team members, friends, relatives, so that whatever good happens, it should happen through in the hands of our associates. So we do many different social activities. To name few, every year on Friendship Day, we do mass tree plantation involving our dealers, our friends, our family in India and globally also, very big way. On 19th January every year, in memory of my dad, we do blood donation camps across India and globally. Our partners, our friends, our staff, everybody get involved, and they do in a big way. And it's growing, every year it's growing. We also have a project called Geolife Youth Club, founded by my daughter Nidhi Lahoti, where we give free career guidance, counseling, and conduct skill development programs for rural and underprivileged kids to help build their future and passion. So this is a very successful project, and many students, they don't actually, in rural India, they don't have right mentors, they don't know what to do in education and which way they have to go. So we have a big team of mentors who guide all these children in different fields. So this project is growing very well, and now because of this lockdown, we have identified many schools in rural India where they don't have any technology, they don't have smartphones, they don't have internet connections, and they don't do anything in schooling. So a new project is started by a team of youth clubs called Digital Omega. We are collecting mobiles and iPads and all, and then we are going to distribute students with the student-friendly softwares and everything installed. They will teach teachers how to handle the technology and also the students, and they want to start their schooling and all online again with them. So there are many projects we are doing which directly get news benefit to the needy. And apart from that, I have a YouTube channel with the name Values in Life by Vinod Lahoti, through which I share my experiences and thoughts on values with the intention to bring value addition and improve lives of viewers.
Okay, yeah. Great. I'll come back to you maybe a couple of questions more, Vinodji. Before that, if anybody is keen to talk to Vinodji, please raise your hand. I'll allow you to speak to him. The audience. Yes. Okay. Quite a few hands gone. Ashwin Gajra. Ashwin Gajra, can you unmute and speak? Ashwin Gajra, yes.
Yeah, can
please introduce yourself and put a question to Mr. Vinodji.
Sure. Thank you, Ray Consulting and Vinodji.
Can you be a little louder? Can't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying thank you, Ray Consulting and Lahoti, to share your views on bioagri input. So one question I had for Mr. Lahoti is, if you can elaborate more on innovation aspects of bio and input, because whatever is available today in the market is all kind of me too products. So is there any unique product that the company has developed and in future are they working on?
Yeah. So, Geolife, we feel proud to share that we don't sell any Me Too products. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we don't promote any Me Too products. All our products are research-based products and developed by unique technologies like nanotechnology, microbial extract technology, and unique plant extract consortiums from India. So we have a big range of product nanotechnology wherein our product dosage is very less as compared to conventional. Like we have product with a dosage of 1 gram per acre, no residues, and results are faster than the conventional. Microbial extract technology, we first product, we have a product called Vigor, which is the extract of Neurospora crassa, and it's a flagship product and works amazingly on every crop. We challenge every distributor in India and globally to compare with the best available biostimulant or growth promoter in the market. And if our product perform better than that, then they can apply our product. And globally, across globe, our product is doing excellent. So that way we have developed many products in crop nutrition and crop protection by microbial extract. Why microbial extract is because sometimes live microbes do not perform well in different climatic conditions. So we extract secondary metabolites and we develop. The third line, what we are doing research is unique plant extract by using a consortium of plant extracts. One is for virus control. Till now in agriculture industry, in chemicals, there is no product to control virus. Everybody talk about controlling vector, but we have a consortium of plant extracts which encapsulate the virus particle and stop the connection of virus and plant grows very healthy. And this product is performing very well in India. We are exporting to more than 12 countries already. So this way we have all unique products.
Yeah, thanks, Ashwin. I'll move to Ranga Prabhu. Ranga Prabhu, you can unmute and speak.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, can you hear me, sir? Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening.
Congratulations, Vinodji. I met you in Maheshwari Expo in Jodhpur.
Okay.
Yeah, I met you. First, I congratulate you. Due to this meeting, we may know about you. You are also a plant therapist and also doing a good job. Wish you all the very best. My question is.
Can you introduce yourself, Ranga?
I am Ranga Prabhu. I am a manager technical in Senova Bioscience. It's a small starting company in Coimbatore. For a small company like us, what is the best advice to grow in bio-based molecule production and marketing? The second question is, in fall armyworm, last year was very devastated in South India and also in all over the world. In Geolife, all your products are nanomolecule. You know very well. Your product also very good. We appreciate you.
Right.
You have any perspective molecule to control fall armyworm? These two questions. Answer from you, sir.
Yeah. So for the first question, may I know how you operate currently?
Yeah, just we have started, sir. You are in starting stage.
Okay.
We are going to all biologicals. We are going to deal with all biologicals. We have more than 20 years experience in the field.
Okay.
Even though we have so much of fear to get into the market. People like us, many people are maybe in that meeting, many people like me also watching your program. People like us, what is your best advice?
So see, first point is whatever product we give, it should have very good quality. That is very important. Otherwise, we cannot sustain in the market. And along with the quality, whatever area, no need to cover very big area in the start. You can start with a small area and give proper service to dealers and farmers. Train them properly, because biological products are not like a Me Too pesticide product, which can go only in the name of molecule. You have to train, explain your product. So before going that, you have to do proper trials and make protocols of these products, because biological product developed by some other company, and if you compare, there will be a difference in the results. It cannot be same.
Yeah.
So you have to define protocols, your product program, you training first in a small area, you get success, then you can expand in a big way.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Fine.
And for fall armyworm, whatever pesticide people are using, we have developed a microbial extract, which we, brand name is Active, which enhances the performance of chemical pesticides, which have already developed resistance against this kind of pests, and it is doing wonderful results. Performance increases by 50 to 100% in different molecules at very low cost, like less than 100 rupees per acre cost for a farmer. So these kinds of microbial extract, if they spray together, it will become biochemical. They will be using chemical and these biological extract together performs very well. We have trial reports of this product done on fall armyworm also.
Is it launched, sir?
So
Not
if you
yet
want,
launched.
no, this product is already launched with the name
Launched.
Active.
Thank you. Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ranga, just to add on fall armyworm, I am working with one of the Southeast Asian countries.
Okay.
We identified two products and we're exporting them from two of my different clients. One is we have identified a specific pheromone trap for fall armyworm, which is doing extremely well. And another is this Bacillus thuringiensis kustaki. Is again very effective for fall armyworm. We are supplying to this country and they're doing very well in further corn. So you can try this. In case you want more details, then get in touch with me if you want to trade and all. We'll introduce you to these companies. Yeah. So we'll take. Thanks, Ranga. Thank you so much for joining. Now,
thank you, sir. Thank you, Lagodi, sir.
Santosh, can you introduce and speak?
First of all, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Myself, Santosh. I am from Sirwar, Karnataka. I am a class 11 student.
Oh, class 11?
Yes, sir.
You are the youngest audience for me.
And I am also the part of GeoLife Youth Club. I used to have great sessions with GeoLife Youth Clubs and everything. It's a great platform for me to learn many things from there, as we had many activities done. And I know that actually we have a fertilizer shop and we are a dealers of GeoLife. We know the quality and everything products of the GeoLife, and I appreciate the works of GeoLife even in the field of agrobusiness and also the foundation works. Sir, I had a little doubt that you told before that in future there may be something like corporate farming like that. That means farming in a large scale.
Yep.
And so if that goes, if there is a change into that thing like that, and if there are small farmers who don't have much investment, what should they do?
See, people have to change their farming from traditional farming to the modern farming for sure. Maybe it is a small farming or a big farming. Otherwise, see, as of now, we all know that farmers are not getting profits and they are in losses because of various reasons. So if they continue having losses or less profits, next generation will never come into farming. Santosh, yes. I think you also are not thinking of going into farming and you are planning for IAS officer, right? So yes, this will happen as long as farming doesn't come into profit. So everybody, it is a responsibility of every person who is involved in agribusiness to support farmers and increase their profits. Otherwise, this will not sustain and this will go towards the corporate farming for sure. Nobody can stop it.
Sir, as of now, almost all each and every agricultural land is being cultivated in India.
Yeah.
That means there are enough number of farmers. That means there are much number of farmers and labor available in our country.
Right.
Why don't even some companies are taking initiative to take awareness and bring awareness in them regarding these things and using of modern input methods and something like
they are doing many companies who are purely into technology, they are also promoting, they are doing for sure.
Yes, sir. For sure they are doing, but my doubt is that, and still sir, as of my what I have experienced and saw in my village and all, they think that if they give more input like fertilizer thing and that Before itself, they used to give per acre nearly 2 bags of fertilizer, sir. And now they're giving up to 3 to 4 bags of fertilizer. They think that if we put more fertilizer, there would be more yield, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But there should be some awareness programs, not only by companies, because companies can't even spend much money keeping in their mind regarding their economic anything, something like that. Something like government should also bring the awareness in farmers.
And so that's where you are there. You are planning to become a IAS officer, right? So we
Yes, sir.
are looking for such people into this administration who has intention to serve country and really help farmers. Otherwise nobody can help. You know, we need people like you who have intention to serve this country.
So actually, my aim to become
Yes.
IAS is also
Yeah.
because of farmers.
Yeah,
Because
Santosh.
Yes.
as my father
Yeah.
is a farmer and we live around 150 kilometers far from Tungabhadra Dam, from where we get water. And almost when water comes to our area, it's being as
Santosh,
there is irrigation facilities.
Santosh, this platform, I think this platform cannot help the problem what you are talking about. This is more about politics and other things which nobody has control over it. So that can be discussed in some other platform. We can
maybe
discuss
out
that.
of things. Santosh, see, while we appreciate you, maybe good all the best for IAS officer. Being an IAS officer, you can maybe transfer millions, lakhs of farmers' lives just instead of your own life. But that passion should be there to do something, extraordinary. Like we mentioned, if you take Vinod Lahoti ji, he's moved. He's taken a huge risk from moving from a comfort of a town or at the most in the surrounding area to a big place. Someone has to take that lead and jump. It's nothing to do with the corporate farming. If we can manage to do our own farming much better, corporate farming is as good as your own farming and vice versa. So I think we will be taking to do that. But all the best. You are just in 11th class. Focus on your studies. Focus on your farm. And then things would move in place. Thank you for joining. Now, Vinodji, I wanted to ask you if anybody else. Yeah, thank you. If anybody would like to put a question, you can raise your hand. Now, I have a question to you, which I think partly you answered when you were answering to Santosh. See, this is there is something. Though we have titled our show at fast pace to grow. See, in this fast pace to growth, many of us somersault. And when I say somersault, भाई जल्दी के achievement में मेरे को 4 साल जगह 1 साल में करना है. Many of us take shortcuts. And some of them may succeed for a shorter while, some of them may succeed for a longer time. What is your take, and what would you tell, advise someone who would like to come to this? I mean, as a farming, business, agribusiness, not just agribusiness like yours, or opening a channel, partner shop, or going to the farming. Overall, how young can contribute to build a robust agricultural system in India, especially from farming background? Like we heard, Santosh, especially people who are from farming background, what support they can be given by various sources?
Yeah, see, we are seeing now in agriculture, there are both kind of people. Few farmers, they say we are into losses and we don't have our next generation ready to do farming. And on the contrary, there are people who are working in big software companies in US and all. They're coming back to India. They are starting with the precision farming and they are earning lakhs of rupees per acre. So here is a point that they have to understand the need of agriculture and they have to go for technologies, and not only technology, no need to invest on technology, but at least what Santosh told, people use 2 bags of earlier they used to use 2 bag fertilizer, now using 5 bag fertilizer. But are they using the right fertilizer? That is more important. Right time, right nutrition, go for preventive measures and all that brings profitable. That will be good. So agriculture is definitely a profitable business if done properly. So they need proper training, proper education about farming, nutrition, crop management, and along with that, hard work is important. That cannot be done in AC, right? Yeah. So that was very much important.
That's true. Hard work. There's no substitute to hard work. I think there's one more hand raised. Let me take Mukesh. Mukesh, you can unmute yourself and introduce and pose a question to Vinodji. Mukesh, are you there? Can you unmute? Hello, I think he's unable to unmute for some reason. Fine. Ashwin, you have raised the hand again, and we have already taken a question from you. Just to think. So I think there's some more hands. Let me see. Shailendra Gupta.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. I'm from Goa. I'm just a kitchen gardener, very enthusiastic for something do for myself and share others. So this, what do you call, Jivamrit, Ghan Jivamrit, these are the technique which even a person having a one cow, they can adopt. How your product is better than this?
We can say instead of better, Jivamrut is very good to apply, but we can enhance it by using a product, complementary products. Like we have a product called Bactogang, in which we have 19 types of beneficial bacteria. So we recommend to add this half a liter of Bactogang into the Jivamrut of 200 liters of slurry, whatever you make, and this entire 200 liters become Bactogang after fermentation. That way we can add another product we have called Vigor Raja, in which we have antioxidants, vitamins, enzymes, and minerals, along with the VAM, mycorrhiza, which is not available in Jivamrut to the extent required. So those two products we recommend to add into Jivamrut, and we can see 2 times or 3 times better result than the normal Jivamrut. So this kind of value addition we can do that will be complementary for Jivamrut, Bactogang and Vigor Raja.
Thanks, Shailendra. We'll take last question, Sumant. Sumant, you can unmute and put a question.
Thank you, Mr. Raj and Mr. Vinod. Being the last, I would extend thanks on behalf of the participants also. My question
Can
to
you introduce yourself, Sumant?
I am Sumant Bharadwaj from Bangalore, Karnataka. I have a teacher and friend here, Mr. Thomas, also is attending the session. I saw one chat also. I am part of an association called Biodynamic Association of India. I work as admin secretary to the association. I quit my job 5 years ago, and I am doing farming in a very remote place in near Bangalore. I lately realized after a couple of years of hard work into the soil, just working in the farm will not support me. I have to look at marketing also. So now taking both at the same time is a big, I understand how it is very important to market the product. At the same time, if I don't produce in the farm, I don't have anything to market. So that is the real time issue for most of the farmers in India.
So what's your question to Vinodji?
So how can a farmer be associated, or a farmer organization be associated with GeoLife, or how can yeah.
So you are in Bangalore, so like there are many companies who are now directly selling vegetables. Or what do you grow, Mr. Sumant?
Yeah, earlier it was vegetables, but now we go mostly cereals and pulses and fruits.
Then there is no problem of marketing in those products. Vegetables means you need a
yeah, that's why we shifted
for,
out of vegetables.
But if you grow vegetable now, like if you go for residue-free farming, there are many companies who are looking for products. Like there is a website called Foodo Buddy, which is going to be launched today or tomorrow. It's a co-founder is my friend Sunil Shetty, Finstar. So Foodo, you can register in Foodo Buddy and you can be a partner to supply those kind of things. So there are many options nowadays. The world has become global. It's very easy to connect. But if you want any support, you can contact us. We can connect you to the right people to market. That's not a big problem.
Thanks
you. So much. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was awesome. I think many questions coming in directly and you could answer to their satisfaction in a nice, sweet way. So Vinodji, it was wonderful talking. We spent good time together and with so much personal insights and business insights coming to everybody. So friends, let's see what Vinodji has got parting words for himself, for GeoLife and for Ray Consulting.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to share something, because there are few young people also, or few entrepreneurs who started in different fields. If they want to go big in a faster way, so first we have to think big. Without thinking, we can never. We don't think, and then we see I will go big in some time of some in my life. We can never go. So think big and start working for it. We have to give 100% for it. Just thinking will not help. We have to work hard for that. And what I experienced is, if we think hard, think big and work hard, then all requirements, whatever requirement arise in the journey, all resources, they will come and knock our doors for sure. Whatever it may be. If you are not giving 100%, if you are doubting ourselves, then they will also doubt us. If we don't doubt ourselves, then everything will knock our door. Maybe it is a finance or manpower, technology, vastu, vyakti, paristhiti, everything becomes favorable to us. But for that, we have to think big and work for it. Second very important thing is, as Mr. Raj told, few people grow very fast, few people don't grow very fast, but always follow ethics and values in life, both in personal and professional life. If you want to go faster and continuously grow, then it is must. There are people we see, they go fast by doing bad deeds and cheating others and all, but that growth will never last longer. One day they will fall down. Life is like a tree, and values are like roots. If roots are healthy and strong, our tree will continuously grow and survive. Otherwise, a small storm can make us fall down. So for continuous growth and success, we have to follow values in life, which most of the people miss. They think, okay, abhi to humko grow karna hai, whatever way it is possible, I want to do hook or crook. That will never sustain. This is the message I want to give to the youth who are there in this forum.
Good, great. Yeah. Thanks, friends. Now, today we have created a Google form, which we have posted the link in the chat box. So please, fill up the Google forms. That will help us to, understand our audience better, who have been very supportive since the day one, almost for 4 or 5 months. And it will help us to get more speakers. Maybe we know quite a few speakers, but with your inputs, we may reach out to someone whom you would like to hear to. And please let us know what subject you would like to hear about. So we will again reach out to those subjects and get the things. And for all the updates, we have our Ray Consulting pages on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn and Twitter handle. So we would like you to visit these pages for updates. Of course, we'll be sending our emails and WhatsApp messages to all of you who have registered for, who want to register for the chat. As a part of, we've been doing since April 25th, every Saturday religiously, except a couple of Saturdays in between because of holidays or some other things. So I am excited to share that, next few Saturdays, to say that I have got next Saturday's blog. So next few Saturdays, I would like to announce who are going to be on my show. Next Saturday, I have Anil, the CEO and founder of Samunati, who's creating waves. He's been awarded ET Awards this just about a fortnight ago. He is trying to build financial, he's trying to finance inputs to the farmers for the agri inputs. Then followed, I have Kesavan, president of TAFE, Tractor and Farm Equipment, speaking to me on 31st October, and Deepak Parikh on 7th November. I think for this next 3 things, I would like you to block and share this information with everybody. And once again, Manojji, thank you so much, and very auspicious day to chat with you. And once again, I thank all my audience for joining for this show, and wish you a beautiful Navratri, safe Navratri. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm very keen. We also conduct conferences, Digital Ag India Conference, Agribusiness Summit every year twice. So we are looking forward that with all the prayers and hopefully things getting normal, we would like to get back to these conferences, and then we can see all of us in person rather than virtual like this. So thank you so much. Please stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.